No one can be told how deep the Torah is. You can only be shown. There is no turning back. You take the blue pill, you wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, and I show you how deep the Torah portion goes.
Are you sure those are pills? Because they look kind of like Jolly Ranchers.
Yes, I realize they may look like Jolly Ranchers, but they are, in fact, pills.
Look, I understand there's, like symbolism, and we're kind of stuck with this parody, but I actually prefer the blue Jolly Ranchers.
Just take the red pill so we can teach you Kung Fu and you can beat up Hugo Weaving.
Look, the only reason I'm saying is because, I'm trying to watch my sugar intake.
Fine, you know what? You don't get to be Keanu Reeves. There, are you happy?
Well, I may not be the one, but I am the Messianic Torah Dude, and this week's Torah portion is Re'eh. Re'eh, or see, comes to us from Deuteronomy chapter 11, verse 26, through 16, verse 17. And in this week's Torah portion, the Lord presents the people of Israel with a choice. And he defines those two choices by the end result. Rather than saying you can do this or you can do that, he says, if you do this, it will end here, and if you do this, it will end here. Now, decide. And we see this choice laid out in Deuteronomy chapter 11, verse 26 through 28. See, I am setting before you today a blessing and a curse. The blessing, if you obey the commandments of the Lord your God, which I command you today, and the curse, if you do not obey the commandment of the Lord your God, but turn aside from the way that I am commanding you today, to go after other gods that you have not known. Now, this is very similar to the choice that Joshua presents to the people before they fully take possession of the promised land. He says, choose you this day who you will follow. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. And that's in Joshua chapter 24, verse 15. Now, the interesting thing about this passage from Joshua is it subtly hints that choosing to follow the Lord is a daily choice. It's easy to make a one-time commitment, but where the rubber meets the road is when we make that same commitment day after day after day. And of course, the most obvious thing about the way the Lord presents the choice is before he really offers the choice, he says how the different decisions could end. If you choose to go this way, we know how it's going to end. I'm giving you a spoiler now. It would be sort of like if you were trying to pick a movie and you said, do you want to see the movie where Luke blows up the Death Star, or do you want to see the movie where it turns out it's his sled? The Lord is really taking the guesswork out of it in a way, because he is revealing the end of the path that they're going on. Oftentimes when you start on a path, you don't necessarily know where it's going to end, but the Lord is framing the two choices by where they will end up. Now we're going to look at this week's Torah portion with the mindset of what happens when you choose to follow the Lord. What happens when you choose the blessing on a daily basis. And we're going to look at some kind of lessons we can learn for our daily walk from this week's Torah portion. The first thing we can learn is to clean out the garbage from our lives. And we get this from Exodus chapter 12, verses 1 through 7. These are the statutes and rules that you shall be careful to do in the land that the Lord, the God of your fathers, has given you to possess all the days you live on the earth. You shall surely destroy all the places where the nations whom you shall dispossess serve their gods, on the high mountains and on the hills and under every green tree. You shall tear down the altars and dash in pieces their pillars and burn their Asherim with fire. You shall chop down the carved images of their gods and destroy their name out of that place. You shall not worship the Lord your God in that way, but you shall seek the place that the Lord your God will choose out of all the tribes to put his name, and make his habitation there. There you shall go, and there you shall bring your burnt offerings and the sacrifices, your tithes, and the contribution that you present, your vow offerings and your free will offerings, and the firstborn of your herd and of your flock. And there you shall eat before the Lord your God, and you shall rejoice, and your household, in all that you undertake, in which the Lord your God has blessed you. So the first commandment, before they do anything else, when they take the land, is to clear the idols out. Get rid of them. And as we go through our daily walk with the Lord, there are oftentimes things that seek to not only steal our worship, but also steal our attention away from the Lord. There are things that want to take our focus. And these are the things that we need to make a daily process of casting out. Not only that, but we also need to make sure that we aren't rebuilding these idols. Verse 4 of this passage also gives us another important lesson, where it says, you shall not serve the Lord your God in that way. Don't serve the Lord the way that the idols were served. And what this teaches us is, before we knew the Lord, we had certain ways of thinking. We had certain frameworks in our mind. The fancy word for that is a paradigm. We had bad paradigms of how we were thinking and how we were approaching things. We also need to clear those out of our lives. We need to get rid of them. We don't force the Lord into the framework of things that we know. We build our framework around the Lord and the Lord's way of doing things and the Lord's way of thinking. Worshipping the Lord in the way that the pagans worship their idols would have been like trying to make your girlfriend or your significant other happy by doing all the same things that you did for your ex.
We're just going to call you Adam Goldberg. Oh, hi.
Hey, honey, I got a surprise for you.
Really?
I got you my ex's favorite candy.
You're joking, right?
And we're going to watch my ex's favorite movie.
I can't believe what I'm hearing.
And after that, we're going to go out to eat at my ex's favorite restaurant.
Oh, no!
Next, we have something in chapter 13, verses 6 through 8. If your brother, the son of your mother, or the son of your daughter, or the wife you embrace, or your friend who is as your own soul entices you secretly, saying, let us go and serve other gods, which neither you nor your fathers have known, some of the gods of the peoples who are around you, whether near you or far off from you, from one end of the earth to the other, you shall not yield to him, nor listen to him, nor shall your eye pity him, nor shall you spare him, nor shall you conceal him. One of the things that choosing the blessing over the curse means we have to do is we have to choose to make our relationship with the Lord the most important relationship that we have. We have to choose to prioritize that relationship above all others. And of course we've got Matthew chapter 10, verse 37, where Yeshua tells us, whoever loves father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And whoever loves son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. This is Yeshua reminding us that our relationship with the Lord is our most precious and most important relationship. It is the foundation on which all other relationships are built. Oftentimes, when a married couple is having difficulties, one of the pieces of advice that they will be given is strengthen your relationship with the Lord. Because as you grow closer to the Lord, as that relationship is strengthened, so all other relationships are strengthened. Without reading through all of it, chapter 16 goes into a lot of detail about the three major pilgrimage feasts. And the thing that teaches us is the way we daily choose to strengthen our relationship is by spending time with the Lord in the way that the Lord wants us to. In the same way that you have to strengthen a relationship with a loved one by spending time with them, we strengthen our relationship with the Lord by spending time with Him. And we have to remember that these are the Lord's feasts. The Lord never says, these are the feasts of the Jewish people. These are your feasts. He says, these are my feasts. He's saying, hey, these are my parties. You're invited. And as we spend more time with the Lord due to conscious sin. And as we spend more time with the Lord, that relationship grows stronger, and we grow closer to that blessing. So what are some other ways that we can strengthen our relationship with the Lord? Let me know in the comments. And if we gave you a laugh, give us a like. And if you learned something, give us a share. I'm the Messianic Torah Dude. Shalom, and stay in the Word.